Hi, we're back. This is Alex with Creative Arts with Alex Swartz. I'm still getting used to the name of my new channel, so bear with me here. But we're going to get into some content today, which is super exciting. I want to show you all of my current WIPs so you can get a feel for my style, what I currently am working on. Now, I warn you, I am not a one project at a time type girl, and I never will be. Just like with reading, I'm the same exact way with books. I work on many different projects at once. I'm very much a mood reader and a mood creator. So I have to have many options for myself so that whatever I'm feeling like working on, I can work on. If I work on one project only, I'm going to get bored. If I read one book only, I'm going to get bored. So you can find me reading 5, 6, 7 books at one time. I'll switch between them. Maybe I'll read one mostly a certain week, but typically I'm bouncing around. The same thing happens with my crafting. So let's get into it. I'll show you some of what I am currently into. So we have this bag right here. This is one of my bags. I typically have also many project bags going at one time. So you will see me pull things out of many different, tote bags, different things. It just helps me to stay organized. But this has a few different things in. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing I want to show you is actually a little different from me. I am not a person who spends a lot of time doing 2D crochet. However, I have been really interested in that lately. I'm kind of intrigued by a lot of different 2D projects. I tend to do a lot of amigurumi. This bird back here, I recently completed. This was my first completed project of 2026. But we have this cute bird here. And this came from a book. It is called The 12 Days of Christmas Crochet. And I'm going to pop up a picture of it so that you can see. Someday I would like to crochet the whole set of these. They're really cute patterns. I really enjoyed making this. This is the French hen, so it's the third day of Christmas. But yeah, she's super cute. I would like to make more of them so that eventually I have a set of all 12. I think that would be perfect. Okay, so, all right, so next thing we have a blanket I've been working on. Now, this is a panel for the blanket, so it's a little bit curled right now. I'm gonna have to figure out. I am not an expert when it comes to blocking. I have not done much of it. So I'm going to have to figure that out when the time comes. And if you all have tips for that, like what I need to get, how I need to do it, let me know in the comments. Please, please. I would welcome your advice. But anyway, this is done in a corner to corner style. This was a free pattern, I want to say, by Patton. I will link it in the description, but it was a free pattern and you're supposed to alternate colors every row. Now, the thought of that absolutely drove me bonkers. There is no way I could tolerate that many color changes. I'm sure that would look amazing because it's meant to be like a chevron. However, I thought this could be done with a more subtle chevron, considering we have this nice like diagonal pattern already. Imagine like another one going the opposite way here and so on. So it will form that chevron zigzag pattern. It's just not going to be as prominent as it would be with the stripes. So I'm combining this beautiful yarn, which is, I bought this yarn not knowing what I was going to make with it. Now, that's how I've tended to purchase yarn in the past, but I have been purchasing with more intention lately. So I have a big yarn stash and I'm, working through it. But I also like to have a certain amount of colors stocked for amigurumi work at any given time. So this is the Loops and Threads Soft Ombre is what it's called now. Now this used to be called ombre hues. And I think they were changing over the name, which is why it was on clearance. So I bought a bunch of this when it was on clearance. It was like $3 a skein, which was amazing. So I bought this pattern with this colorway with the orange and pink and blue, which is called, let's see. Well, in the new version, or no, in the old version, it was called orange/pink/blue. And it's called that still. So this is the exact same stuff. It used to be ombre hues, now it's soft ombre. And it's a polyester blend. So I got that colorway, and then I also got the dark blue, sky blue, white colorway as well. So you can kind of see this one, and I do have that I'm working on another panel right now. Now, I had a really terrible time finding an end when I started this new skein, and I ended up like with a huge knot, and I had to like eventually roll it into a ball. Most of the first one I was able to just work straight from the skein from a center pole, but this was a disaster, so that's why this one's in a ball. I have a long way to go on this project, and this is daunting to me. I have a tendency not to finish projects when they are too long. So we're going to try to hold me to it. I would love if you all could kind of help me with that too, because I really want to finish this project. I don't want this to be one of those that goes unfinished. I'm not sure if I quite have enough yarn to do it yet. Probably not, because it took over a skein to do this one panel. So it's going to take a lot. I keep buying a little bit more every time I go to Michael's. I just placed a yarn order from Michael's online. So I ordered, I think, 3 skeins of this so that we can keep going with this project. But I'll just kind of accumulate the yarn gradually. Luckily, it does seem to be something that they're continuing, so I'm able to kind of keep going and just buying it little by little so that I'm not spending too much at once. So I've got these little rolls, and eventually I figured it's probably going to be, these are about like 5 inches across. It's probably going to take me 10 of these to get the size of blanket I want. And then once these are all put together, I don't want to sew them together until I've finished, because I don't know what color I'm going to want next to each other. But there's like a little border you do then to cover up the ends. So this might take a while, but we're going to work on it little by little. What I like about this is once I got used to the diagonal corner to corner work, which I haven't done before, you know, it wasn't too difficult. It's pretty mindless. It's repetitive. So I'm able to have this kind of going while I'm watching something, while I'm doing something. You know, it doesn't take that much of my concentration. And I like having a project like that. So a lot of the other ones I've done do take more focus. They take more, you know, visual input from me to be able to do. So anyway, that's our first WIP currently. Now, next up, this is kind of like a loose, not like a super high on my priority list WIP, but this is something I've been kind of working on and off here. But I have been making some different granny squares, and they are different patterns. I have this 3D Granny Squares book that I got, and I really like a lot of the designs in here. They're really cute animals, really cute food ones, and I would love to make a blanket with all different designs eventually. So far I have a cat. I have an avocado. We have a donut. Oh wait, this way. Donut looks cute on the other side too. We have a cupcake, and this one I haven't finished yet. It's a waffle, but we're gonna have some whipped cream and a little berry on there. This was my first time doing this particular stitch, like the waffle stitch, which was fun. It took me a little bit to figure that out, but this was the first one I did, and I realized that the waffle was in fact pretty much the same size as the whole other squares, and I did want it to have the border around so it would look correct, you know, with cohesive with this other ones that have the border. So basically this just turned into a random waffle. So I'm thinking what I might do is make another one that's the same. I had to like way size down and change like the pattern to make this work, but I was able to get it to the same size in the end. I'm going to make another one of these and sew them together, add some sort of little berry topping, and have this just be like a 3D like amigurumi play waffle basically. That's the next one. Now, our third project that is in this bag currently, and I think there's only one more. Okay, I am working on making a case for my tablet, and I have recently become a tablet user. That was not something that I had for a long time, but I finally splurged on an iPad, and let me tell you, it has changed my life. I use it every single day to teach. I use it for my sheet music. I use it for reading. I did not think I was going to become an e-reader. I am a physical book girl all the way. At least that's what I thought. Now I've started using Libby with my local library, and I read on here every single day. So I might at some point get into a Kindle, transition into that, but for now I like the size of this screen. I like that it's larger. It helps my eyes, and so anyway, this gets a lot of use, and I do have this like hard shell case on it, but I realized, and a screen protector, but I realized I wanted something to like just be more cushiony and like protect the screen protector and that part of it. So I am making an iPad case, a tablet case. This took me a while to decide how I wanted to do this, and I had to kind of think. I looked at a lot of inspiration on Pinterest. I looked at a lot of different stitches. I knew I wanted like a stitch that was going to be kind of like cushiony so that it would be protective. But other than that, I did not know what direction I wanted to go. I even thought about getting myself some like fancy, like maybe like hand-dyed yarn, you know, and do something a little bit like splurgy and fancy. So I thought, what if I crocheted a case and then somebody's doing something with the snow shovel or something. Anyway, what if I crocheted a case, like a base, you know, a couple base colors, and then embroidered over top of it? So this is the start. Now, I want you to have an open mind. Keep an open mind, please, because this is very much in the hear me out phase. Like, this does not look good right now. I'm going to just show you the panels first, okay? And I probably should have done that before I started embroidering it because it's very questionable looking at the moment. But I made 2 panels like this, and I used a stitch called, oh my gosh, the falling leaf stitch, I think. If that's wrong, I'll put something up here, but I think that's what it's called. And I used a site called, I think it's Nordic Knits, in order to learn how to do that. They had a tutorial, which was really helpful. So I used a combo of this dark green, and these are just plain old acrylic yarns. Like, I think this is Red Heart Super Saver actually, and this is just some other comparable white acrylic. But I wanted just like a base for me to be able to embroider over. This is the back, and then there will be another panel like that here, and then this is the flap that's gonna fold over top. And I used just like a single crochet to do the decreases for the flap. I debated whether I wanted kind of like a shorter flap, but then as it was going and it was getting really long, I was like, you know what, this is kind of cool. I like how it adds like more white down here. So This is the other panel. Now, again, hear me out. This is going to be vastly different when I continue working. I want this to be very layered embroidery. It's going to be super textured looking. It's going to be tons of shades of colors. There's going to be like, these are going to be totally filled in. So it's sort of like the landscape is like a hill here. We're going to have trees, plants, flowers. Like, I really want this to be so densely textured. And I'm really, really, really hoping that this turns out the way I envision. Now, let's put the pieces together just so you can kind of see. And I decided I wasn't going to attach them until after I embroidered, because it's going to be a lot easier when it's just a flat panel to do all of that work. So it's going to be put together like this, and this is going to go over top. Now, when I started embroidering this last night, I was like, wait a second, I'm covering everything up with this flap. But I realized, some of the time it's going to be open because I'm going to take my tablet out. And then I thought, you know what, that's kind of cool. It's like we're revealing the art, and then this will go over top. I'll also do some work on this too. And I might not do a ton on the green. I may just put like, some flowers, stuff like that. Maybe a little bit of textured greenery, and like maybe I'll put like a little animal in the corner, like a little rabbit or something. But this is going to be another project that might take a while, and that's okay. I'm trying to be okay with that, and just know that like I don't have to do it all at once, and I don't have to stress myself out with any of these projects. I mean, this is supposed to be fun, and I want it to be fun. So that's the second one I have for you. Okay, so let's get into a couple more project bags. All right, so first things first, this is a one project bag currently. We have one thing in here that I started working on shortly after the holidays because I wanted to crochet a tree skirt. We have one that we like. It's black and white, like houndstooth kind of pattern. And we've done that one for the past few years. But this year we wanted to go more colorful and a little bit more traditional. So we found one at IKEA. However, once we got it home, we discovered it was not, in fact, a tree skirt, but it was more of a tree mat. It was round, but there was no opening. So I was wondering why it was so inexpensive. So what we ended up doing is cutting an opening so that we could put it around. But it was such a pain. I think I need to add like some ribbon ties to it or something. Anyway, wanted another option, and I thought, you know what, let me make one, and it would probably be good to start now so that I can work on it little by little throughout the year. I won't get bored with it, and I won't be rushing to try to finish it by Christmas, because the last few years I've also made a lot of Christmas presents for different people, and if I end up doing that this coming year too, I want to be able to, do that. So here is my first of many granny hexagons that will be used for this. And if you can see, I'm using like a tan. There's a green, kind of like a sage green, white, and then this darkish red. I don't have all the yarns right here, but the green I'm using is Pound of Love Lions brand in the color olive. So this is a little bit lighter in person, I feel like, than it looks on camera. I didn't want it to be like the super bright red and the super bright Christmassy green. I wanted it to purposely be a little different. And I also like that there's this fourth color, that there's like the tan in this pattern. I'm going to put the link to this free pattern in the description so that you can see and find this pattern and support the creator, because I really, really like this. I think it turned out really cool. So this is the red I'm using. Again, I think it's Karen 1 pound in claret. Yeah. So it's a nice dark red. And then the tan I'm using is Loops and Threads Soft Classic Acrylic in Mushroom, which I just had already on hand. I think I got it when Joann's was closing. We won't talk about it. But these are two others that I've started. And you know what I realized with this project? I struggle with projects that are too repetitive. That's why I like amigurumi so much, because it's not repetitive. You get new stuff to do all the time. But with a project like this, to keep myself interested, I think what I'm going to do is do like a bunch of squares at once and just kind of do like all of row 1 on them all of row 2, you know, every few rows I will just work at a time. That way I'm getting what feels like more done at once, and doing it kind of like in batches like that. I think for me personally, that's going to work a little bit better. So we're going to do that. I'm not exactly sure how many we're going to need, so it's just going to have to be something that I feel out as I get further with the project. This project has been hard to continue to motivate myself to work on, because I was really excited to start it, but then realized that, you know, Christmas is in fact 11 months away. So I wasn't as, you know, Christmassy feeling yet, but I'll get back to that, I am sure, as the year goes on. Now, this is one of my main project bags right now, and let's see if there's anything in here to show you, or if it's just stuff I need to clean out. Oh, okay. There's a kit here that I've been kind of working my way through. I think I got it at it looks like I got it at Half Price Books, but it's a Crochet Mini Animals kit by Thunder Bay Books. And basically, you get to crochet these little teeny little animals. Let me actually show you one that I did make. Hang on just a second. I changed my mind. I'm actually just going to show you here instead. So I have this little trinket shelf, and it has a lot of different fun little things in there. Maybe I'll do a tour sometime if you want. But here's a couple of the little mini animals I made. There's the giraffe. We have a cat, an elephant. Let's see, are there any others in here? I think that's it. I feel like I made one more, but I'm not sure where it is right now. But yeah, those are some of the ones I've made. Now you use like really thin thread. It's basically embroidery floss. That was a challenge, but I've gotten a little bit used to it as I went. Also, here's Sybil, one of our cats. Sippy, say hi, honey. What you doing? Hey, baby. She wants to play. She might get in the video from now too. So yeah, those are something I've been gradually working on. These little mini ones. It's not like a super active WIP right now for me, but it's one that I've been working on here and there. And also, this is a little different for me. I have not worked on a lot of cross stitch. I've done a few here and there, but never have I ever attempted to do a big cross stitch. Now, the reason that I am doing this, my grandma, my dad's mom, was a big cross stitch lady. So like she did so much cross stitch and so many beautiful projects. She passed away a number of years back, and this was one of her unfinished projects when she passed away. So I have decided that since this is something that I would 100% like, it's very much my style, it's very much something I would hang in my home. It's something that I would like to finish, and also as a way to honor her too. So this is the pattern that we are doing, and it is the Serenity Prayer. This is something that really meaningful to her, I am assuming, and you know, definitely to me as well. It is a pattern from 1995, so we got a nice like vintage pattern there. And I will show you what she and I have done so far. Now, the cool part is she had already organized out all the colors and labeled them and everything. So we have like her labels here. It's all scrunched up right now, and she had done a good portion of this. Well, not that much actually. She did most of the center section there. I've started working some of the stuff below and a little bit around the edges too. Now, my back of this fabric is not going to be as neat as hers. I know that overall, like, my work is not going to be the same, but that's not the point. The point is to finish it. The point is to, bring this project to a close at some point. But I have realized that with a project this big, I might need to come up with a better system because it takes me forever to make any progress because I'm just doing so much counting. And this is just so large for me to be working on. So if you have suggestions for how I can better tackle a project of this size with counted cross stitch, please let me know. I recently saw a video where someone took like colored pencil or something similar. Maybe it was like a water soluble pencil, and they basically like colored in the squares and then stitched over top of that, kind of like needlepoint would be. Honestly, that would make it extremely more enjoyable for me personally. I'm just not sure if I want to do that. There's part of me that's like, oh, that's cheating. But it's not. I mean, if that's something that works well for somebody, I would say absolutely go for it. That's what I would tell someone else. But for me myself, I have to figure out if that's what I want to do, or if I want to like try to do it in a grid system. I know people do that. I could try to do that as well. So I just, any strategies you all have for this, because like this sheet to read off of is just not it. Like, it's all so similar, and it's only in 3 colors to begin with. So it's just like a whole lot of different symbols. And I realize that's how they are sometimes, but like surely they could have printed in more colors than just like blue, black, and red. It's really not user friendly. So that again is going to be one of these projects that we do over a long period of time. And that is okay. That's the way it goes sometimes. So those are the current ones in this bag. Now I have one more I want to show you today, and this is a project that I've again been working on for kind of a while, but it's something that I really am excited about. So much so that I'm probably going to make a second smaller one after I am done. So I first saw inspiration for this again, probably on Pinterest, but then I started looking into this, and I saw that there were kits out there to do this, and just like different people that had done some. I found some videos on YouTube of people that had made similar things to this, but hang on, I'm going to grab it. All right, so this is a latch hook project. I have never done latch hook before this. I had to buy the tools and teach myself to do it. But we are making a moss rug. And as you can see, it's pretty sizable already. We have a lot of different textures going on here. We have pom-poms. We have areas that I've crocheted, like over here. This is actually crocheted on. I completed this section yesterday, and there's sections with longer, shorter. This is like a pom-pom yarn. There's a lot happening. Oh, hi, Sybil. Here she goes. See her there. She's so cute. So anyway, there's a lot happening here. And I wasn't sure at first how big I wanted to make this, but I decided, you know what? Why not use as much of this space as I can? Now, it's not going to have the squared off edges, but I will make it kind of like, randomized edge. But I'll try to use as much of the canvas as I can as I'm making this. And I've worked on this some at my parents' house. They have 2 cats, Well, they're mine too, but they live with my parents, Luna and Desi. And every time I work on this there, Luna is obsessed. She will just lay on it and like she thinks it's hers and basically claims it while I'm there. So I decided I'm going to try to make a smaller version for her, for so that she can enjoy, laying on it and have one to keep. So after I'm done with this big one, I'm going to start a smaller version. And I suspect I will have enough yarn left in order to do that, because there is quite a lot of green yarn that I have purchased in order to do this project. So that's what we're going to do there. And that's all I think I want to show you today. I think we'll stop there. We'll save some for another time. And I'm hoping to bring you along with me while I work on some of these projects in the future, so you can kind of see my process and like just relax along with me, maybe work on some of your projects, and we can just have a nice relaxing time together. Here we have Sybil that wants to be here with us as we finish up. Oh, it's okay, honey. I'm going to show you Sybil, and then we're going to finish for today. Sibby. Oh, hi. Good girl. All right. Well, we'll say goodbye for today. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'm looking forward to more. Please let me know in the comments if you're here and where you're here from. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Let me know what some of your current WIPs are, and we can compare notes. If you have any tips for any of the projects I've shared. Oh, one more thing. This moss rug, I have no idea what to do about the backing. So if you have any ideas for that, drop them in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.